And now I'm the same height as you. Just have to sit on my foot.
I don't want that, though.
Yeah.
I want to be taller.
Well, now you're out of frame.
Damn it.
You have no choice.
Well
but
played,
to be the same
Mr.
height as
Corn.
me.
Well played. How you doing, my friends? Here we are with Lasercorn. Now you know it's gonna be a fun video of Lasercorns here. I also might lose some stuff from my studio. I got my eyes on you.
I have my eyes on you. Joven, your eyes are useless.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
the most useless part of you.
Try not to take anything too
You
expensive.
should just
man.
listen very closely. You should daredevil me.
Hi, guys. If you're new to this channel and the title's what brought you in, thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit that subscribe button if you weren't subscribed to before, because if you like this video, I guarantee you'll like the other videos. Or if you like Lasercorn, you should go follow him on his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Lasercorn. Today, now what we're doing is interesting, because many a moons ago, you and I talked about something. We talked about something we were excited for.
Yes.
And now it happened, and now we get to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that...
Can I just say, since that video went up, I became gradually less and less excited. It's like Venom movie, but no Spider-Man, no even mention of Spider-Man, and then no Carnage, or
no R-rated.
No R rating, yeah, and it slowly went downhill.
And then it came out. I was in New York, so we didn't even get to see it together.
No, we didn't see it
So
together.
I don't know your opinions yet, and you don't know my opinions yet.
Why don't you go first?
What?
I'm very interested to hear your opinion.
How I want to start this off is on the count of three. Like, it'll be a 1, 2, 3, blank. And we're gonna just say, like, if we liked it, or like a very, very quick, like, the overall, like, I did, I didn't, or I kind of liked it, or it sucked balls. Whatever you want to say. After three.
Okay.
So, 1, 2, 3. It's not good. For me, I can get nitpicky about movies. I will look at pacing. I'll look at character development. Now, when I look at those two aspects to this movie, well, this movie doesn't have it. Venom's pacing in the beginning is not great.
It's terrible. The beginning of the movie is horribly paced.
Oh, guys, spoilers? It's a review. It came out last week, so
we haven't spoiled anything yet. So yeah, if you've made it to this far in the video and you don't want to be spoiled,
So the movie just pacing's fast. They establish relationships.
What? Oh wow, really? I thought it was slow. At the beginning?
It's like it's just like scene. You're like, what?
But there's scenes that didn't need to be there. It's like
there was a lot of that.
And his girlfriend, and like the opening montage with like Eddie Brock. It's like he's doing this and he's doing that.
Yeah,
Look at the Eddie Brock show, and it went on for like it felt like a minute too long. I'm like, I get the gist of it. He's a reporter.
The movie was just very fast-paced. It was Sony making a basic superhero movie. Now, it was enjoyable. I went in wanting to hate it because at first the reviews came out saying it was horrible.
Yeah.
Then people started saying, ooh, I like this movie. It's not as bad as you think. Yeah, moments are cringy, but it's overall entertaining. And then I was like, okay, so people's bar is so low that now, like, they're walking into theater and kind of liking it. Like, I kind of liked Justice League the first time I saw it because...
Really?
The first time I saw it. Because it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I walked into this movie wanting to hate it. But then there were aspects that I liked. I did like Tom Hardy's portrayal of Venom with him inside of him, like seeing the back and forth.
Yeah.
I laughed at a lot of those jokes. That was great.
Yeah, the back and forth was great. I think one of the standout moments of the movie was the jump. You remember when they're out the window and he's like, "Jump, Eddie," and like he's looking at the window and he doesn't like heights, and it like hard cuts to him pushing the elevator button. And you see me go, "Pussy," and I like laughed. I'm like, okay, but yeah,
overall their connection and their dialogue was fun.
But again with pacing, but we don't see Eddie and the symbiote join until. I felt like a long time in the movie, and I can't tell if it felt like a long time until the merge, or if it wasn't that long, but the scenes were dragging so much for me that it felt like longer than it was.
Most superhero movies, especially the origin movie, will have the same situation where Iron Man doesn't get into the Iron Man suit. Even like the Mach 1, he doesn't get into like 45 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, so here's the big difference. I say you just told me that fact that we don't see Iron Man in the suit till 45 minutes in. I would not have guessed that about Iron Man if you'd been like, hey, how long do you think it was between opening of the movie until we got in the suit? Because it felt faster to me. Mm-hmm. Whereas Venom felt really slow. I'm like, oh, why are we following the symbiote around? We get it.
It kept pulling back away to be like this ominous thing. It's like, okay, we get it.
And like, we're doing relationship stuff. It's like, yeah, he's not a very good boyfriend. One of the biggest plot holes, shifting gears a little bit, that really bothered me was the chick that worked at the lab.
Yes.
Well, I'll get to that in a second. But she had to bring Eddie there so Eddie could snap pictures. It's like, so he could have a source. It's like, do you not know how to operate a cell phone? Snap the
some
pictures
photos.
and then give them to Eddie. And like, if they had just done that, the symbiote that got out in the wild was the Venom symbiote.
Which I thought it was going to be original.
Me too. And I got really mad when it could do hardened projectiles, because I'm like, Venom can't do that. Because I thought the one in the lab, they pulled a little switcheroo on me, which was cool. But if they had just made that one out in the wild connect with Venom faster, and then had him bond with one in the lab, they wouldn't have had to do that very contrived scene of, Eddie, you need to come to the lab because I don't know how to operate a cell phone, and just hand you the
lazy
pictures.
writing. The biggest issue that I had was that Venom, at the top of the third act, is like, oh, we're going to fight the bad guys now because I, like you, am a loser. What? First of all,
I thought that was funny. Well, on his planet, he's a loser.
On his planet,
and it kind of made sense because, like, that part made sense to me because Riot can do all the like weapons and shit, and he just like can't.
He can't.
It's kind of
but like the fact that is the defining moment. Like there's a moment a little bit earlier than that where he's just sitting on top of a building and he's like, oh, your place is a lot prettier than I thought. And between those two things, now he's fighting against his own kind and trying to stop the species from coming down. You just rushed right into that. There was no reason to care about the bad guy. There was no reason to care why Venom was trying to help. Whereas if they would have done more of like a Superior Spider-Man thing, where that's when Dr. Octavius puts his consciousness inside of Peter Parker's body, and when he gets in there, he's still stuck with some of Peter's memories and how he feels, and that's when Dr. Octavius is like, oh, whoa, this is why we have to be a good guy. So if you show that Eddie Brock is actually trying to do good in the world, show that there's a lot of evil in the world, and then make that a conscious decision that Venom is like, oh, I see what you see, that makes sense, now I'm going to stop the end of the world because you people deserve to try to live.
Yeah.
And that would have, right there alone, that would have made more sense for the characters. It would have made more sense on why everything was fighting. Because, why is there a fight at the end of the movie? Because he's a loser.
Well, it made sense to me, and here's how I kind of rationalized it. I get that it didn't come across for you. So on his planet, he's a loser. He can't do the weapons. But when he gets to Earth, he's a super badass.
Yeah.
He's taking out SWAT guys left and right. Like, he's pretty unstoppable, and he's like, wow, this is awesome. And then along comes Riot, and he's like, I'm going to get the ship. I'm going to bring the rest of the symbiotes here. And the symbiote's like, no, then I'm back to being a loser again.
And if they would have explained that at least would have been motivation.
That kind of clicked with me, like, that was, I thought, what he was trying to do, was stop a million other symbiotes here so he could continue being the badass.
10 seconds would have explained it.
Yeah,
and then even then, when right before the fight, he's like, yep, we're probably not going to win. He's much stronger. And as much of a funny line as that was, there was then no reason, like, why are we seeing Venom put his life on the line to fight?
But speaking of the end fight, God, just too much CGI.
Way too much. I saw headlines where it's like, this is some of the best CGI we've ever seen. If it was 2003, you might be right.
And they picked the absolute worst villain. First of all, Riot, just like a forgettable throwaway villain from the whole symbiote saga. And then, like, the color palette, oh my god, the gray and blue. It's just, when they're merging together and stuff.
You couldn't see. I had no clue who was where the people kicked out. Then all of a sudden the humans were fighting. I was like, oh, okay.
It's just a gray-blue blob on the screen. There were so many, and there's other symbiotes that were in, like, Riot's, like, it's like the children of Venom or whatever they were. They extracted the seeds, right? And they had, like, Agony and Scream and the other symbiotes that had, like, better color palettes that you would have gotten some contrast when they were fighting. And it's not like, well, Riot's personality is so important that, and everyone knows him so well that we really need to have him in there and not like Scream or Agony.
Now, I do believe that you should have a lesser hero or a lesser villain that you don't want to focus too much on, because this movie needs to be Venom. Why do we like Venom? But at the same time, the five
of them are all on the same level as far as recognizability and like how big a villain they were. Goes. You could have picked one with a better color palette and no one would have noticed.
Some other things that just really, just small things that bug the hell out of me. So when Riot is actually going from person to person to person to get back to Venom, how did Riot know where to go?
And he just walks into the lab. Yeah, I have no idea.
Like,
I guess
he traveled across the world. He went from China there. Are you looking for a spaceship?
Yeah.
There's other spaceships.
Because he could, like, sense the symbiotes, maybe, but there was no way he could know that the symbiotes were at a place that he could then hijack a spaceship.
Marvel had a hard time for a very long time to make good villains. But then they figured it out. Give villains some shades of grace, and it's not all black and white, and, just try. Just try writing. The dialogue between Eddie and Venom was great, but that was the only writing that I feel like went into this. Even the scene where they help Eddie with Michelle Williams and the doctor, and they get the symbiote out of him, the conversation then shifts. They just saw a symbiote pop out of a person's body, they lock the door, Hardy leaves, and then they start talking about their relationship?
Yeah.
And not thinking of the fact that there's an alien thing that you're not watching anymore.
No, that was a pull you out of the moment, out of the movie level bad writing moment right there. And
There's
I remember the exact scene. Yeah, it's like you could still see it, like trying to get out, like this very dangerous symbiote, like crawling around on the glass, and they're just like talking about the relationship. And I think everyone in the theater was like, "Evil symbiote."
It's like, hi.
Yeah.
They spent so much time with the symbiosis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we gotta find people that can actually connect with. First of all,
Oh yeah.
Riot was going into everyone and anything. The Venom symbiote went into Eddie Brock, a dog, and Michelle Williams. There was never any question.
Well, I think they could bond for a certain period of time if they weren't properly matched, but then eventually they die. Yeah.
But like the first people were dying instantaneously.
Yeah, and we did see the girl walking around, and then it's like 6 months later, it's
Yeah.
the same person. So it's like the length of time.
She was walking around a very long time. I forgot all about that. Now, I'm going to say something that people hate when I say this. I said the same thing about Amazing Spider-Man 2, also done by Sony. Yes, you might find this movie entertaining. A movie can be entertaining and not good. That's fine. You deserve better.
Yeah.
We deserve better. We've had like 10 years of amazing Marvel movies. Sony just went back and made a decent bad writing movie where we have grown as an audience. They should have already known how to do this. They should have known how to make a better movie.
And I didn't think it was absolute garbage and as terrible as the critics are making it out to be, is because it did have moments for me.
Yeah,
like,
there were a lot of great moments.
The bike jump, where he comes off the bike and he's like, whoa, and then his symbiote like X Games him back out of the bike.
Oh, you mean the thing that we saw in the trailer?
I didn't watch the trailer.
Oh, that's smart.
And for some reason, one thing that kind of stuck with me that I liked is when he did the bullet shield.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, because he doesn't harden, so the bullets don't bounce off. They just kind of stick in the goo. And then I'm really happy that they actually showed this for some reason. But when he whips the symbiote back into him, the bullets, the spent shell casings, just come out of the air,
even notice
and
that.
they like clatter off the ground. And I'm like, something about that attention to detail. I'm like, okay. I'm like, someone in the CGI department actually cares about this movie and character. To me, that's how it felt anyway.
Tiny details and visual, that's great.
To me, I've already mentioned, I thought the beginning was way too slow and it felt draggy, and I thought I was going to hate it, and the end of the movie turned into a CGI fest. But the middle of the movie I really liked, for reasons I just mentioned.
Yeah.
And also, like, when he's taking out SWAT guys and stuff.
That was
the way
fun.
He's moved,
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Again, like, if it was Eddie and Venom together, I liked it. And that alone deserves a sequel. Yeah. Having that relationship is fun to watch. Yeah. Now we're going to get into the big spoiler, because we did see a tease into what the sequel will be. And even that, I would have done it a lot shorter. We're going to get Carnage, which isn't a big surprise.
Yeah.
But it's the person that we saw as Carnage, or as Cassidy. Cletus Cassidy. What did you think of...
casting choice?
Yeah.
Not a huge fan. I like him. Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, thank you.
It's Woody Harrelson, and
he's a great, amazing actor in my opinion.
Serious actor, but
he does great comedy.
I just thought they needed someone with a little more psycho.
I think that they could have pulled a younger, unknown actor with a natural redhead instead of this funny-looking wig on Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah, at first I'm like. When you see the faraway shot, I'm like, Carrot Top? They got Carrot Top? And for some reason, some part of me is like, okay, let's see where this goes. Like, I didn't hate that decision. I'm like, Carrot Top's jacked, he's crazy, you know, he's got the red hair, and his face kind of would work for that. If you think about Carrot Top's face and Cletus Cassidy's face, I'm like, all right, let's see how this pans out. And then I'm like, Woody Harrelson. I'm like, no, go back to Carrot Top.
I think he can pull off crazy serial killer. I do think that he could. My big problem with this was that it was too long of a scene, and then they do the biggest thing. And this is how I know Sony doesn't know how to make a modern day superhero movies. They hold your hand too much. Woody Harrelson has this horrible line where he's like, and when I get out of here, there's going to be carnage.
Yeah, that's so corny.
I'm sorry, is that who you're going to be? All they needed to do was show Tom Hardy kind of driving in, had that conversation with Venom, that was good. He's walking through, have the security guard, keep it really short and simple. It's like, you sure you want to talk to this guy? He's kind of a nut job. But, you know, he asked for you personally. And then as he walks in, just have Tom Hardy or the cop just be like, Cletus, your visitor's here. And then have him look up, let's see it's Woody Harrelson. That's it. That's all we needed. All we needed was smile. Yeah. And just that's it. I got goosebumps thinking of that because that's how it should have been done.
So you like the Woody Harrelson casting?
I like Woody Harrelson, so I'll give it a chance.
I like him too. I just don't think he's right for the role. You want to know who I would like to see? Weirdly, and I apologize if I'm not saying his name right. Rami Malek.
Oh yeah, he'd be great.
Yeah. Rami Malek. I love. First of all, his performance on Mr. Robot is phenomenal, and I haven't seen the Queen movie, but from the trailers,
it looks good.
When he gets excited about like the operatic section and he does like crazy eyes, I'm like, ooh, those would be good.
There might be something
Cassidy eyes.
That would have been a good. Yeah. Honestly, it could have been a no name. It could have been anyone, but they needed to shorten that. They just showed that they don't know how to make a movie without holding the hands of the fans, and I don't trust a company that does that. Yeah. And you're not going to make a good movie. You're going to make a cheesy, weird, blah, meh movie.
Part of that is that end tag was just for fans of the comic, people who already knew who this was. Yeah, you didn't need to say the name. We know who that is.
Because what would happen afterwards is if you just say Cletus, like the end of Guardians 2, they talk about Adam.
That they could have held my hand on a little more. I don't know.
But at that point in time, though, like even I was like, I don't know the character that much. I know that it's a thing, but like then I Googled it. I looked into it. There were hundreds of YouTube videos talking about surprise ending. Yeah. There's enough information, and then it invests the audience into learning more about these characters because they weren't aware the first time. So
that's an excellent point.
That's dumb. I think that they could have done a lot better with that.
Yeah, and excellent point. You build a little in case there was anyone out there seeing the movie who didn't know who Carnage was, they would like Google like who's that guy at the end of the movie, and they would get more excited for it.
And then speaking of end credit scenes, we did then get a tease into Enter the Spider-Verse, which I think is going to be one of the greatest superhero movies ever made, hands down.
Wait, hang on. There was another scene. There was a post.
You didn't stay until the end of the movie.
I stayed until the Carnage scene, and I thought that was it.
There was one more after.
Oh damn it! What happens?
It's better that you didn't see it because they pulled an Ant-Man where they just literally show us a scene from the next movie in the credits. I don't want that. They literally showed a scene from the movie.
Okay.
That will be probably exactly the same. It just like it goes black and says in another universe, and then it shows this. Which explains why Venom doesn't have the spider suit, why there isn't any Spider-Man running around. It's because it's an alternate universe. In the Spider-Verse, come on, Gwen Stacy is up and running around as a Spider-Man character. So there's...
Damn, well I wanted to talk to you about whether or not you thought what the chances were of this rejoining the mainline Spider-Verse. Well, because
I don't.
Far From Home is the last movie
it is.
On the Disney deal.
But more importantly, that storyline has a young Peter Parker. The technology that we saw in Venom is more like, not future, but like, distant future. Like, this movie could have easily taken place 8 years from now. They mentioned the Daily Globe, or not Daily Planet, but
No, they call it the Globe.
Yeah, they call it the Globe. They mentioned the incident.
Oh yeah, so they reference the Globe incident, but they don't reference Peter Parker, but you assume that's the incident with the Sin Eater stuff, where Peter Parker, exposed him, and like he got run out of town, as they say in the movie. That could bring him into conflict with Spider-Man.
So this does show us that it's many years later after Spider-Man has already become Spider-Man, so I wouldn't expect to see a Tom Holland appearance. but they could cast an older Spider-Man for these Sony movies and it would still work and make sense. The Venom origin is still different, but Peter Parker could still exist in this particular universe.
You're right.
Whether future or past or whatever, it is in a alternate universe where Spider-Man didn't get the symbiote suit from the Secret Wars. And then we see a scene at the end of the credits where it's literally just a scene from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And I'm saying it now, this is going to be one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. I think it's going to be very, 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 very good. So overall recaps, this was a longer video, overall recaps of our thoughts and opinions on Venom. I think the writing was very, very lazy. But I think the Venom and Eddie Brock stuff was entertaining enough to make audiences happy that they saw it. I don't think the normal viewers going in like, there wasn't enough character development. I don't know why Venom was actually trying to take the ship down. Like, I don't think the normal person's saying that. But it's important to question these things because we deserve better. I need to mention that Sony needs to stop doing this one thing. Maybe a few things. But this bugged me so bad because you didn't watch any of the trailers. There was a scene in the trailer that I was excited to see. It was the scene where he's as Venom talking to the gangster in the store, and he's like, "Oh, you'll be a turd in the wind." Whatever. That was in the trailer. That is the second time now that they've specifically put the last scene of a movie in their trailer. Same thing happened with Amazing Spider-Man, where in the trailer they show Spider-Man jumping towards Rhino with like the sewer head or the sewer top with the strings, swinging it around and going to hit him, which was literally the last frame of the movie. And now they're doing this movie where they take the trailer and they take a funny moment from the trailer and that's how the movie ends. Stop doing that.
Just make trailers shorter in general. Show less stuff.
Now let us know in the comments below what you thought let us know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions on Venom were. Try to keep it spoiler free as much as you can because there might be people that stop in at this video that are looking at the comments and be like, oh no, who's in the movie? But this is why I like making movies because I like to talk to you guys. Yes, this was longer, so thank you Lasercorn for stopping by here.
Sorry we talked so long.
And Lasercorn, you are about to be uploading a lot more videos on your YouTube channel, right?
Yes, there should be by the time this goes up, there should be a video up on my YouTube channel and more to follow.
Oh, he's
out.
calling a shot when this goes up on Friday. There's going to be a video there?
Yes.
All right, there's going to be a video there. Guys, I have a link to his channel down below. Go subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are new to this channel and you watch the whole thing, wow, thank you for doing that. Please hit that subscribe button, notifications, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, more videos to come. Maybe less editing, but still great. Say goodnight, Lasercorn.
Good night, Lasercorn.